Brother Aaron from Got a Minute. Good to see you guys. We've got a special guest on today. We've got Bubba News with us. He's going to talk all things end times with us. I'm going to be wearing the host hat and the guy that is asking questions. We'll just assume that we don't know anything, and we'll get Bubba to fill us in with all things political and end times and Israel and all sorts of things. He tracks with these things, and he's got a wealth of knowledge. And I would love to also enter a season here where I host live streams and get you to share some of your thoughts. So if you have any studies that you want to share, or studies that you want to share, or if you want to see some other YouTube guys or whatever on with me, just definitely reach out to me. I'm very easily accessible. You can email me. You can find me in my Discord. Those links are always in my description box below. I would just love to hear from you. I've done that a bunch before. I've even done live streams where I just have open links and people can just hop on just randomly. So we might even do that too. So definitely let me know if you want to share anything. And so let's just have Bubba come on here and we'll get the conversation rolling. So here's Bubba News. How you doing, brother?
Hey guys, how are you?
Yeah, great to see you, man.
Man, we got the Canadian buddy up north. I'm with Aaron again. This will be fun.
Yeah, let's go, buddy. Let's go. Get some coffees and donuts there, buddy. And grab a hockey stick and let's go, bud. Good to see everybody in the chat.
Get my Hortons coffee.
Yeah, got your coffee there, and we got Jamie in the chat and Yaffa and Robert Taylor and good to see everybody. Christy Joie and Valley Watchman. What's up, man? Good to see you guys. Well, thanks for hanging out. Okay, Bubba and I have a couple things in common. We believe that Jesus is the only way, the truth, and the life. John 14:6, my favorite verse. We'll start there. That's an important thing. And then we'll get into some conversations here. So Jesus said to him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. So get tight with Christ. Don't get tight with anybody else. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. That's my favorite verse. And we'll read Romans 10:9-13. And it says, if you confess with your mouth the Lord Jesus and believe in your heart that God has raised him from the dead, you will be saved. For with the heart one believes unto righteousness, and with the mouth confession is made unto salvation. For the scripture says, whoever believes on him will not be put to shame. For there is no distinction between Jew and Greek, for the same Lord over all is rich to all who call upon him. For whoever calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved. So mission number one, enter into a relationship with Jesus Christ, accept what he did on the cross, trust in the finished work of his blood, and you'll be saved. And that's really our main mission here. And number two, we think Jesus is coming back soon.
Right.
And we're going to talk about why. So, Bubba, why do you think he's coming back soon? Let's get into it. What's going on around the world that gets you to believe that he's coming back soon?
Well, and I love it even too, what you're mentioning Romans 10:13. I mean, that's directly, Paul got his quotation right there from Joel 2:32. And it's funny because we're talking about the end times, and right there you mentioned, Paul with Romans 10:13 tied into Joel 2:32, and Joel is huge with Bible prophecy. So I mean, everything is pointing to, even the salvation message is pointing right to the return of the King.
Yeah, so it is
exciting.
And the fun thing about Joel 2:32, now that you said it, I'm going to read it because I got my Bible here, and it says, "And it shall come to pass that whoever calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem there shall be in deliverance, as the Lord has said, among the remnant whom the Lord calls." Now, Joel 2:32 is quoted in Acts chapter, is it 2, I believe?
I think so.
But let's see here. Yeah. Joel, Acts 2:21, it says, "And it shall come to pass that whoever calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved." But it stops there in the book of Acts. So Peter doesn't complete the verse. In Joel 2:32, he leaves out the part that says, "For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem there shall be deliverance." So you remember how Jesus did that in Isaiah, and he quoted Isaiah, I think it's 61 or 63.
61, yeah.
Is it 61?
Yeah.
And that's in Luke 4. He didn't complete the sentence.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that because he's going to be bringing, well, let's go there too. Why don't we go there too?
I know. I'm looking it up now too.
Good. Good to see you, brother. It's been a while since we talked. So
It has, man. Yeah. Oh, that's where it is. Luke 4:18 and 19. Yeah.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, so he kind of stops. It says to proclaim the
did.
acceptable year of the Lord. So Isaiah 61 verse 2, he kind of stops. And then in Luke 4, he doesn't say in the day of vengeance of our God.
That's right.
So we have a similar thing here. Bubba just brought it up in Joel 32. And when it comes to Pentecost, the Feast of Weeks, he doesn't complete that future fulfillment that we're waiting for at the end of Joel 32. And that thing that he left out, now I'm going back. I lost my spot. What does he leave out? He leaves out, here it is. He leaves out the part where it says, for in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem there shall be deliverance, as the Lord has said, among the remnant whom the Lord calls. And then it talks about they have divided up my land later on in Joel 3, verse 2.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. Now you get me to go and looking at Joel again. Oh, yeah. That's a big one when he brings the nations down to the Valley of Jehoshaphat. Right there where the Kidron Valley and the Hinnom Valley meet. Oh, man.
So tell us, okay, Joel 3:2, since we're here. Why don't I just read Joel 3:1 and 2, and then we'll talk about the dividing up the land there. So it says, for behold, in those days and at that time, when I bring back the captives of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, and I will enter into judgment with them there on account of my people, my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations. They have also divided up my land, and they have cast lots for my people. So, okay, let's go to real time, current time events. Do you think they're going to be dividing up the land soon? And if so, how? And where's your mind at with this, dividing up the land of Jerusalem, Israel?
That's a tough one because we see the entire world keep talking about this two-state solution and the dividing of Jerusalem and making East Jerusalem as the capital of the new state of Palestine. And I mean, we read about this because they divided God's land. And then where is it where it talks about even parceling out the land for a price? Yeah, Daniel 11:39. He will take action against the strongest of fortresses with the help of a foreign god, AI. He will give great honor to those who acknowledge him and will cause them to rule over the many, which is always an idiom for Israel, and will parcel out the land for a price. So something's still coming where they're going to do it. But two-state solution, one-state solution. Palestine wants Israel to be one state, all of Palestine, no more Israel. I mean, that's why Psalm 83, they want to remove the name of Israel so that their name is remembered no more. I mean, we're living in wild times. I don't know. What are your thoughts? What do you think? They're going to do it?
Well, okay. It's interesting about Psalm 83 that you brought up because I was just mentioning to you before the live stream that Psalm 85 seems so perfect for a second coming theme.
Mm-hmm.
And Israel will be 85 years old in 2033.
Mm-hmm.
So we're a month away from 2026 now. And so we're kind of looking, if we're looking at a very soon rapture, we're kind of now looking at a 2033 second coming generally, depending on, we're kind of transitioning into that mindset anyway. So Psalm 84 and Psalm 85 are just perfect second coming Psalms. And Israel will be 84 in 2032, and they'll be 85 in 2033. So Psalm 85 is just so perfect. Maybe we can read it together.
Yeah.
We probably should. And then, but it's so interesting that Psalm 83, a lot of people think that is coming together. It's my subheading is it's a conspiracy against Israel. And it's a, what does it say here in Psalm 83 verse 5, for they have consulted together with one consent. They formed a confederacy against you. So if Psalm 83 is yet to be fulfilled, some people think it's already has been. I'm not sure, but if it's yet to be fulfilled, it's a really good spot physically in the Bible Psalm 83 relating to the potential years of tribulation, Jacob's trouble. Pretty good spot.
Mhm.
And then comes Psalm 84 and 85, which has such a great second coming theme related to maybe the age of Israel. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. I don't know. Should we read Psalm 85 and then?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let me read Psalm 85. So think of this in the mindset as the second coming, and think about this as 2033. If you add May 14th, 1948, and you add 85 years, that's 2033. Now, maybe this is nothing. Maybe it's nothing. But Psalm 85, read it, and we're going to read it, and you tell me. Lord, you have been favorable to your land. You have brought back the captivity of Jacob. You have forgiven the iniquity of your people. Well, who's the people? It's Jacob. It's Israel. Okay. And you have covered all their sin. Selah, that's a pause. Think about it. You've covered all their sin. Okay. Verse 3, you have taken away your wrath. You have turned from the fierceness of your anger. That's pretty cool. Verse 4, restore us, O God of our salvation, and cause your anger toward us to cease. Will you be angry with us forever? Will you prolong your anger to all generations? Will you not revive us again, that your people may rejoice in you? Show us your mercy, Lord, and grant us your salvation. Well, that phrase, verse 4 through 7, is the same words that's used in Hosea 6, 1 through 2. And are you familiar with that? The Hosea? Chapter 6?
Yeah, let me go. 6, 1. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The 2 days, 3 days. That's right.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah. So it's got the same like Hebrew words. I'll read it. Hosea 6. Come and let us return to the Lord, for he is torn, but he will heal us. He is stricken, but he will bind us up. After 2 days, he will revive us, and on the third day, he will raise us up, that we may live in his sight. So some of these words like return and revive are in Psalm 85, in those verses that we just read. Pretty cool, eh?
Return, revive, your people may rejoice. I love it.
Yeah. So it's really great. And then and then back to Psalm 85, 8 through 13. I will hear what the Lord will speak, for he will speak peace. Well, he's coming like a prince of peace to his people. Who's the
To
people? That's
his
Israel.
people. That's right.
And to his saints. Well, who's the
Mhm.
saints and who's his people? Well, the people would be Israel. His saints, I believe, could be the tribulation saints or just us coming back with him. But let them not turn back to folly. Surely his salvation is near to those who fear him, that glory may dwell in the land. Mercy and truth have met together. Righteousness and peace have kissed. Well, that's their reality when Jesus comes back. Truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven. Yes, the Lord will give what is good, and our land will yield its increase. Righteousness will go before him, and shall make his footsteps our pathway. So there you go. That's Psalm 85. We have a theme of God coming back to the land, forgiving the sin of Jacob, restoring and reviving the people of Israel, coming back and ruling with Israel and his saints, and bringing righteousness and peace to the land. Pretty good psalm if we're connecting it with the second coming. I don't know if you got any thoughts on that.
Yeah, and I've even heard Psalm 85:11 talking about truth springs up from the earth. In other words, like they're finding things that are proving the gospel, proving the Bible, proving Jesus, proving King David. I mean, it's really neat. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's Psalm 85, and we piggybacking off Psalm 83. But, you know, what are your thoughts on? I mean, there's a couple things. There's the Abraham Accords, and
Oh, yeah.
where do you think that's going? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and the whole thing too with Saudi Arabia meeting with Trump last week, that was big news. And all the AI infrastructure and the $1 trillion now that they're going to invest in the US, and he wants to take Saudi Arabia and make it a global data hub to have all the info coming in. But we've got now Trump with his AI Genesis project, like he wants to make it like the Apollo missions or the Manhattan Project, the nuclear war program. He wants to totally redo, basically, and he wants to connect within the United States all these scientists and engineers into like the collective understanding so that they can cure diseases and fix things that would take years of experiments to now be crunched down from years of experiments to just a few weeks. So we're ramping up big time. And it's like this whole, all the pieces are coming together like one headline after another. They're like stacking blocks. This is
this
crazy.
thing called the Genesis mission?
What is it?
Is it called the Genesis mission?
Yeah, like the like the reborn, Genesis mission, yeah.
They keep on using names for all this stuff. So the Abraham Accords, the Genesis mission. Okay.
Exactly. What else could they come up with?
They're calling Trump like a Cyrus. They put him on the coin a couple of years ago.
Yep.
Why? Why all these biblical names?
I know. And I've been even like their wars and stuff. They name them after biblical names and stuff. Where was that? I was looking. Yeah, the AI Genesis. Trump fires up Genesis mission to rewrite science itself. So he's connecting more and more data into a humongous beast system that is forming right in front of us. So Trump just signed the Genesis mission. And this is turning America's labs into one single AI-fueled engine for discovery. So they're going to pull this into one system to crush time-turning decade-long experiments into just weeks. And the focus is everything from fusion to quantum, from cancer cures to space exploration. And DC calls it the next Manhattan Project. And the Manhattan Project was a research and development program taken under World War II to produce the first nuclear weapons. So I said, Trump is building a weapon all right, but it's not nuclear. Yeah, that's just crazy.
So was this signed yesterday?
Yes.
When will they start doing this?
Well, even the Chris Wright, the energy secretary, said that this is a historic thing. Today was not incremental; it was transformative. So they're going to bring it. They're going to kick it off now. I mean, and it's almost like once they announce something, they've already been doing it, and they just now publicly make it known. I don't know. So it could be that they're going to make it even go deeper and deeper and deeper with time. So it seems like that's what they're going to do too. But I have a feeling this is going to kick off like ASAP. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're building all these data centers. My buddy's installing all of these generators and stuff. I mean, they're building them all over the place. This is nuts. Ohio, Indiana. I mean, Texas. I mean, people in chat will tell like there's places near where they live and they're building. This is crazy.
With the data center now, Saudi Arabia is going to be making all these data centers. Is that what's going on? Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, let's go back up there. I was gonna look that up real quick. Yeah, this whole thing with Trump now, and Trump with his AI buddies, he's gonna make sure that they get all the contracts and they can all make their money together. Keep going. I'm looking. Yeah, with Mohammed bin Salman, because I had it put down how he's going to actually do this. But yeah, he's going to keep going, Bubba. You're almost here. Okay. So yeah, and that's the other thing. They're talking about the Palestinian state within 5 years, and the Saudi Crown Prince is pressing the United States for a binding guarantee. And that's the other thing. This resolution, that UN resolution last week, 2803, was huge because the U.S. put it forth for stepping stones to get to the recognition of the state of Palestine. And I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. I have a feeling if they're going to do it, they're going to possibly give them Palestine about the midpoint, that when the Antichrist rises up and turns against the Jews. But I don't know. This is wild because, Saudi Arabia, this was on Wednesday at the Saudi Arabia Investment Forum last Wednesday, a week ago. It positioned Saudi Arabia to be a global center for data collection of all 8 billion plus human beings.
Global Center for Data Collection
of all 8 billion.
Every human being
on the planet. Yep.
What could possibly go wrong? Okay, so when will they have this
intelligence strategic partnership?
When will they have this all set up to track every single person in the world in Saudi Arabia? When will that happen?
Yeah, and it talks about they're going to build a massive artificial intelligence infrastructure that transforms the Saudi kingdom into a regional and a global center for advanced supercomputing. So they're going to start by 2026. I mean, this is huge. I mean, it's every day. Big news.
They're going to start by 26 in Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
So they might have this set up by 2026, being a data center for everybody in the world in 26, or just start the process, or what?
100 megawatt center will be opened by 2026, and by 2028, 2029 timeframe, they plan on having the 1 gigawatt AI data center. So they're going to grow tenfold from 2026 to 28, 29 timeframe.
Okay, so if we're looking,
as we're getting closer to that upcoming midpoint.
That's why you're talking about a midpoint there, because they're going to be super duper ready by 29 is what you're getting at.
Yeah,
the infrastructure. But it sounds like they'll already have some things in place by 2026 in Saudi Arabia. Wow.
This is like a bad reptile that's just going to keep growing bigger and bigger and bigger.
And it's not stopping. It's not going to turn around.
It's like the insatiable, literally like a beast. Like, I can't get enough. And the way to stop the beast system from happening is to stop its data, because AI can't run without constant inputs of data.
And who can make war with the beast? Who can make
war
with this data center? If that's part of the part of it. Who can? You can't.
You can't,
unless you pull the plug. But you're not going to be able to pull the plug.
What was that? Daniel 9:16. That was not. Dude, your Psalm 83 or 85 was killer. That's good stuff. That's good finds right there.
Oh, the Psalm 85 thing?
Yes.
Well, even Psalm 84 is pretty cool, as it could relate to 2032. But Psalm 85 is like, boom, this is so perfect for a second coming theme. And, again, you know how the calendars are all over the place. And, sometimes people think the year starts in the fall. Sometimes people think it starts in the spring. Sometimes people think we're a month or two off, whatever. So we got some wiggle room when it comes to this thought process of Psalm 85 being connected to the second coming. Of course, we also have a theme of Psalm 132 and Psalm 133 with the exact same idea. If Psalm 132 is related to 2032 and Psalm 133 is related to 2033, it's the same thing. It's Psalm 133 is so short. It's how beautiful and pleasant it is for brethren to dwell in unity. It's like the oil running down Aaron's beard, and Aaron was the high priest, and Jesus will be our high priest, and he'll be coming as the high priest and the King of Kings and the Prince of Peace, and we'll be dwelling in unity. So the theme really follows as with Psalm 133 as well, following Psalm 132, which is undeniably about the Messianic kingdom. It's very clearly talking about it. You can't even you can't pretend that it's not. It is about the throne of David, the millennial kingdom. So really nice fitting spot in the Bible to be placed.
I love how the Bible's just connecting, and we're seeing it all connect now today more than ever before.
Oh yeah.
It's just popping off the pages.
Yeah, I mean, I'll read like the end of Psalm 132. We don't have to read the whole thing, but it says, we'll just start from. We got a lot of time. I'll just read I'll read from verse 11. Psalm 132, verse 11. The Lord has sworn in truth to David. He will not turn from it. I will set upon your throne the fruit of your body. Okay, so he's talking about the throne of David, and the fruit of his body is Jesus. He's the seed of David. Matthew 1:1. Jesus is the son of David, and he's the son of Abraham. So part of Christ's identity is David. And so here we are talking about the throne of David. And verse 12. If your sons will keep my covenant and my testimony, which I shall teach them, their sons also shall sit upon your throne forevermore. For the Lord has chosen Zion. He has desired it for his dwelling place. This is my resting place forever. Here I will dwell, for I have desired it. I will abundantly bless her provision. I will satisfy her poor with bread. I will also clothe her priests with salvation, and her saints shall shout aloud for joy. There I will make the horn, which also could mean government. So I will make the government of David grow. And I will prepare a lamp for my anointed, or my Mashiach, my Messiah. That's Jesus. His enemies I will clothe with shame, but upon himself his crown shall flourish. We're talking about the Messianic kingdom here, man.
Yes.
We are. And so and then it goes into Psalm 133, which I spoke about, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell in unity. So if this has anything to do again with connecting to the years, pretty cool. We're on that fence post of 2032 and 2033 as a potential second coming. It's pretty cool.
And I like how someone said in chat how that they're gonna all of Psalms is prophetic.
Oh yeah.
Even talking about how Jesus was going to go to the cross and just
yeah. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, actually, one of the last verses in Luke, it says, Luke 24:44, it says, then he said to them, these are the words which I spoke to you while I was still with you, that all things must be fulfilled which were written in the laws of Moses and the prophets and the Psalms concerning me.
That's right. I love that.
The Psalms are they're just not a bunch of fluffy words. There's a lot of prophecy in the Psalms.
Yeah. I love that because Jesus confirmed the entirety of the Old Testament. Yeah.
Yeah.
The law of the prophets.
Yeah, and if anybody's watching, you should know this. That this doesn't get old. Like, so when Jesus was on the cross, one of the things he said was, my God, why have you forsaken me?" And I believe that's in Matthew 27. Let me just verify that. Let me see here. What verse? Oh yeah, Matthew 27, verse 46. He says, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Well, why does he say that? Because he's quoting Psalm 22. So Psalm 22 starts out by saying, my God, why have you forsaken me?" And then as you read, you're reading about him dying on the cross for our sins. And so it says in verse 16, they pierced my hands and my feet.
Yeah.
So he's pointing to the prophecy in Psalm 22 that he wasn't just saying that on the cross simply because he was in pain and agony. He was saying that because he was trying to say, I'm fulfilling prophecy. My God, why have you forsaken me? And
I can count on my bones. None of them were broken. Verse 17. I mean,
exactly.
Oh, they did. Yeah, they divide my garments among them, and for my clothing they cast lots. That's right, at the foot of the cross. Wow.
Yeah, and then even in the beginning, verse 6 is a huge thing. But I am a worm, and no man, a reproach of man, and despised by the people. That particular worm in verse 6 is what's the word again? I'm just going to go look at it. It starts with a T. I don't want to say it wrong and then get the wrong word. It's called a tola. Yeah, a tola worm. And that's a crimson grub. When it connects to the wood of a tree, when it's going to produce its offspring, it clips itself to a tree, and then it turns red, and then the blood drips on its offspring, and then after 3 days it turns white, and the offspring feed off the flesh of the mother, and they turn red, and it's a scarlet worm, and then 3 days later she turns white. The mother turns white. And so just like our sins, Jesus died on the cross. 3 days later, he rose from the grave. So he's that worm, that tola worm.
Wow.
The way that it produces an offspring and carries on life is exactly how Jesus died and rose for us, and we become righteous and turn white after believing in the cross and believing that he rose from the grave 3 days later. So we partake in that with him. Does that make sense?
Have you heard I didn't know that about that word, though.
It's so cool. Isn't that so cool? You didn't know that? So that's great that now you know.
No, seriously, I never knew that. In 3 days of all things. That blows my mind.
Yeah, so yeah, I've done a video tour on that in the past.
Dude, I don't see how people believe that this was all an accident and billions of years ago something formed out of nothing, and I'm like, what?
Oh, man. No, the Bible is alive. The Bible is way too real. The Bible is true. It's certain. The prophecies are going to happen. It's not. The story isn't done yet.
That's right.
Certainly near the end. But this is certainly no fairy tale. There are too many things in this Bible that are way beyond coincidence.
Man. It's just exciting too, watching it all come to pass, watching it all come to fruition. But in a weird way, it feels like feels like we're still on like a snail's pace. It feels like everything's going at blister speed, but at the same time, it's just like, oh, come on, let's do this.
I can so relate to that, man. Okay, so we've been watching in a similar time frame. Like I've been doing this for 5 years myself. Like the way that I'm doing it right now, basically 2020, everything changed for me. I just kind of snapped and like, oh my goodness, Jesus is coming. I have to figure this all out, and so I started my channel in September 2020, and so no, I've been aggressively.
Oh, cool! So you got a good 5 years in now, yeah.
Yeah, watching and waiting.
Nice.
So I understand what you're saying. Like it feels like we're there, but then it also feels like this inching process of this slow worm movement, and it's like, okay, how much longer are we going to be here, Lord? What's going on here?
And we can feel it ramping up, even because it's like it is like birth pains. Like it's a revving of an engine. Like some days it's like everything's happening like so fast, and then other days you're like,
yeah, looking at the watch.
Where are we? What are we doing? This is bizarre. It's a bizarre time to be alive, but we're getting so close. But it's like this. We're like in this weird window right now. I don't know, but yeah, we're looking more at 2033. I'm still not looking at not until 11:59 p.m. on December 31st, buddy.
I hear you. I know. Most people are like that mindset. I get it. Yeah.
No, that's just. First of all, I'm surprised we're still here in a lot of ways, but in another way, it feels like there's still some more to come in a weird way.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense, but.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we're only human. We have a question here. Maybe we can. It says, do you guys, Bubba and Aaron, think the current world order must fall before the last 7 years can start? Meaning, is the West U.S. must fall?
I don't think we're going to fall just yet. I mean, then again, it is 2025. All bets are off. We don't know. We could wake up tomorrow and everything's like a 9/11 type scenario all over again or something. We don't know. I mean, I don't. But we've got this whole thing now with Venezuela. That's another thing. And we're hearing, on one hand, we're hearing so much about peace. But just like the Bible says, when they cry out peace, there is no peace. And that's what we're seeing today. But then on the other hand, you keep hearing about war. I mean, you got peace on one hand, you've got war on another hand, you've got literally like a bipolar world. It's like, which one's gonna? But I believe still we've got to have some major wars before they get to that final 7-year peace. Yeah, or that 7-year scenario. And I've been listening to Chuck Missler while I've been doing DoorDash lately too, about like the prince that is to come, the Daniel 7, Daniel 8, Daniel 9. Just listening again with a fresh perspective with today's news and my mindset, listening to what he's saying. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But I guess even in this AI Genesis thing, there's like, that's another thing too. We've got to look at Trump's Board of Peace.
I know. That's
another one, because he wants all peace agreements going forward to be based on his platform of the Board of Peace. And now he wants to have all these people like Mohammed bin Salman and others sit on his Board of Peace. Sooner or later, we're going to have those 10 kings, I believe, rising up, or at least these 10 players. Whether they're the technocrats of the AI Twitter world, you know what I mean? The elites, I don't know.
Richard in the comments says the U.S. will lead the 10 kings, so America will not fall anytime.
There's Richard Allison. He's another Canadian.
Oh, yeah? Oh, cool. The setup for the 10 kings is all set, just about to rise up. I'll say one thing's for sure, I think. Jerusalem has to be on her own by the end. So how we get to that spot, I'm not quite sure. But Zechariah 12 is talking about everybody coming against Jerusalem. Many of the nations. And if anybody tries to remove, like, I'm paraphrasing, but let me just read it properly. I don't want to say it incorrectly.
Zechariah 12:2. We've still got a major ground invasion coming into Israel, the Judah and Jerusalem. Yeah, verse 3 is where you're going. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just read Zechariah 12, a little bit of it. The burden of the word of the Lord against Israel. Thus says the Lord, who stretches out the heavens, lays the foundation of the earth and forms the spirit of man within him, behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of drunkenness to all the surrounding peoples when they lay siege against Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall happen in that day that I will make Jerusalem a very heavy stone for all peoples. All who would heave it away will surely be cut in pieces, though all nations of the earth are gathered against it. Okay, so it says all nations of the earth are gathered against it. And in that day, says Lord, I will strike every horse with confusion. So it doesn't say that anybody else is helping Jerusalem. Is anybody supporting? So I don't know where America is during the end times events. But, one argument that I heard, which is a pretty reasonable argument, is there's a lot of Christians in the States, in the U.S. And so on Rapture Day, and there's a lot of good Christian people in the military. So on Rapture Day, the argument is there's really not going to be a whole lot of military power after the rapture. And so that alone, the rapture alone, might really take a lot of power away from the States. That's a pretty good argument.
Yeah.
There's all these people talking about how the economy is going to be tanking in 2026 and how everything's changing. And I don't know. Like you said, I mean, there could be this big reset. I don't know. Not quite sure, but it doesn't seem like
our great departure is the time for their great reset. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Out of chaos, bring order.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe the rapture is going to kick off a bunch of things that we do not want. Well, of course, we don't want to see. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
I'm with you, Richard. I like the Festival of Lights. I like it because Jesus was a big part of that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was John 10, the Feast of Dedication.
After
that, he raises Lazarus from the grave. I think it's in John 11. But he participates in John. Well, I'll read it.
Yeah, where is it? John 10:32.
It says John 10:22. Now it was the Feast of Dedication in Jerusalem, and it was winter. So the Feast of Dedication, many people understand that's Hanukkah. Mm-hmm. And Jesus walked in the temple in Solomon's porch. So, and really in this area, he's calling himself God, and then they tried to stone him. And that didn't work out. They weren't able to stone him. But yeah, that's talking about Hanukkah. He was in the temple on Hanukkah. And then in John 11, verse 43, Lazarus is raised from the grave, even into 44 there. So yeah, when is Hanukkah this year? It's in December, close to Christmas, probably late December.
Yeah, I think it's Richard might know. I think it's somewhere in the December 8 time frame, December 1 through 8, somewhere in there.
Oh, December 1 through 8. It's at the beginning.
Aaron. Yeah, you got me. I was just looking there at as we continue down in John 10:26, and then we get into 27. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow. I love that. But I love verse 26. But you do not believe because you are not of my sheep.
I'll go down that little rabbit hole just for a minute here. So
Jesus, man, he don't pull no punches.
Oh yeah, this is super cool. So, yeah, okay. So John 10, those verses exactly what you were saying. So John 10:26. But you do not believe because you are not of my sheep. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me, and I give them eternal life. And they shall never perish, neither shall anyone snatch them out of my hand. So he's saying a lot of these phrases, but what he's really doing is he's quoting Psalm 95 right here. And his audience knows that he's doing this, and this is why they want to stone him, because Psalm 95 says, "Oh, come, let us sing to the Lord. Let us shout joyfully to the rock of our salvation." So Psalm 95 is about singing to God. But listen carefully in verse 6 now, okay? So we know that this psalm is talking about singing to God. Verse 6 says, "Oh, come, let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before the Lord our Maker, for he is our God. We are the people of his pasture and the sheep of his hand. Today, if you will hear his voice," we heard that word voice, "do not harden your hearts, as in the days of rebellion." So it really is specifically in Psalm 95 verse 7. He's calling himself the great shepherd, and he's calling us his sheep. And he said this after he was talking about himself being the true shepherd in the beginning of John 10. And then he says in John 10, nobody can snatch them out of my hand. But in Psalm 95 verse 7, we are the sheep of his hand. He's calling himself God. He's basically paraphrasing Psalm 95 and John 10. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm just
And
connecting that right now with the John. I never caught that.
It's so neat. And then that's why in verse 31, then the Jews took up stones again to stone him. And in verse 33, the Jews answered him, saying, for a good work we do not stone you, but for blasphemy, and because you being a man, make yourself God. Because they knew what Psalm 95 was. They knew he was paraphrasing Psalm 95. They knew he was calling himself the shepherd and he was calling himself God. So, there's a lot of Muslims that will say, show me one verse where Jesus says he's God. Here's one of them. He's quoting Psalm 95. And the other very clear one is John 8:58. It says, most assuredly I say it to you, before Abraham was, I am.
Oh.
Yeah. So, in God, when he spoke to Moses, he said, my name's I am. That's in Exodus.
I say to you, before Abraham was born, I am. There it is. Yeah.
There it is. And when you go back to Exodus 3:14.
Exodus 3:14, yeah.
And it says, and God said to Moses, I am who I am. And he said, thus you shall say to the children of Israel, I am has sent me to you. And Jesus said, before Abraham was, I am. So he's calling himself God.
Wow.
Cool. So that's in John 8 and in John 10. And so John is really making an effort to show us that Jesus is God, both the Son of God and God, And we got there because of the Feast of Dedication. We're rabbit trailing everywhere. Yeah.
Well, John and Jesus were so close, and I think it's so cool at the end when John, the Lord brought to him, the vision for the book of Revelation. All the previous 11 disciples had been taken out of the way. I mean, you know what I mean? He's the last one. Mm-hmm. But I think it's just special how Jesus, because they were so tight, him and Jesus, John. And I guess John was younger or something like that.
Well, I think he was known as the beloved one.
Yeah,
John.
yeah.
And
there's two beloveds in the Bible. Let's see if in chat, who knows where the other beloved is. It's in the Old Testament.
David means beloved.
Oh yeah. That's my name, the beloved one. Yeah.
Yeah, David means beloved. Yeah, in Hebrew. Yeah.
John called. Yeah, John was the beloved, and then Daniel was. Yeah.
Gary says, interestingly, Trump signed that deal as I am. What? What deal? What?
Yeah, he does. He does.
What? What do you mean? I don't get this. What's going on? He's calling himself I am.
Yeah. A bunch of his signatures at the bottom of his executive orders and stuff, he puts down I am.
What? How often has he been doing that?
For the past couple months, yeah. It's kind of crazy, and people have caught on to it. But I guess something, and the story goes back to his dad said to start doing this when he was a kid or something. I don't know. Trump, oh my goodness, yeah.
How does he get away with that? People just let him write I am instead of his name?
Well, no, he'll sign his name at the bottom, but before he signs Donald Trump, he says something I am.
Oh,
Donald J. Trump, and I'm like, what?
Okay.
Total blasphemous. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. I don't know what to say. What is this world coming to? Just sign your name, man.
You're gonna sound like Paul Bagley. What?
What the what? Oh,
yeah, man. He signs I am. Yeah. It is blasphemy, Valley Watchman. That's for sure, man.
Okay, where are we at here? We got
where are we at? Let's go back, man. We're just having fun. All right, we had John 8, we had John 10, we had. Let's see here. Bill Salas's last video that came out, he doesn't believe that he still doesn't believe that they're going to come down to a two-state solution. He believes that Israel's going to decide what's coming down the well, and I am starting to see signs of that, because I'm starting to see signs of Israel starting to pull away from the United States more and more, Israel, because they know they can't be dependent on America forever. So they just signed their Iron Dome interceptor missiles to be, because it's usually made by the U.S., but they're going to have Raphael internally start making them. So Israel's going to start doing their own.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I would anticipate them moving in a more independent
We're on our own. Yep.
direction. Like I said, I don't think the U.S. is going to be there at the end to help them out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it would, because in Ezekiel 38, one of the things that God wants to do,
were the protesters, yeah.
like one of the things that God wants to do. Let me just find one of the phrases here. Ezekiel 38, verse 23. Thus I will magnify myself and sanctify myself, and I will be known in the eyes of many nations. Then they shall know that I am the Lord. The only way for that to happen is for Israel to be against all odds and God to protect and do his thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's not really going to be able to do that if big military U.S. is supporting Israel the whole time,
Yeah, look at verse 23, like you said, I will magnify myself, sanctify myself, and make myself known in the sight of many nations, and they will know that I am the Lord. I mean, yeah. I love that about the book of Ezekiel too. And then they will know that I am the Lord, and then they will know that I am the Lord.
Yes, that phrase is all over the place. Even in Exodus 39, verse 22, so the house of Israel shall know that I am the Lord their God from that day forward. And that's when Israel is restored to the land. Yeah, it's all over the place, isn't it?
So a lot of these wordings came from like Moses and Abraham and the whole shebang back in Genesis, Exodus. I am the Lord. Then they will know. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and actually that phrase, when it comes to the feasts of the Lord, he has that phrase in two particular feasts of the Lord that I think are extra special. He has this phrase in 2 out of the 7 feasts at the end of it. The Feast of Weeks, I'll read it. Leviticus 23, verse 22. When you reap the harvest of your land, you shall not wholly reap the corners of your field when you reap, nor shall you gather any gleaning from your harvest. You shall leave them for the poor and for the stranger. Here's the phrase, I am Lord your God. It's like his signature. It's like his statement. It's like, this is happening. This is a significant one. And then the other time he does this little stamp or signature is at the end. It's at the end of Tabernacles. And it says, I'll read one of the last verses there. So Leviticus 23, verse 43, that your generations may know that I made the children of Israel dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. Right there, he says it there. So he puts his signature in the Feast of Weeks, which is the center feast, and he puts it on the Feast of Tabernacles, which is the last of the 7 ones.
Oh, he does a Feast of Weeks and
the Feast of Tabernacles.
Wow.
Now, I think those are 2 very special feasts. And the other cool thing about those 2 feasts is in Deuteronomy 16, the Gentiles are specifically invited to those 2 feasts, the Feast of Weeks.
That's right.
And the Feast of Tabernacles. The Gentiles.
They're not invited to unleavened bread.
They right? Yeah, like it doesn't specifically. Of course, we're invited to the feast, but it says here. I'm going to read it. Deuteronomy 16, verse 11, and this is talking about the Feast of Weeks. It says, "You shall rejoice before the Lord your God, you and your son and your daughter and your male servant and your female servant, the Levite who is within your gates, the stranger." There's that word for Gentile. I think it's the word goy. We'll take a look at that in a second.
Oh.
And the fatherless and the widow who are among you at the place. So that stranger is invited to the Feast of Weeks, and that same word is also in the Feast of Tabernacles in Deuteronomy 16, verse 14. Let me get the proper Hebrew word because I don't want to say it wrong here. That's Deuteronomy 16, verse 11. That word for stranger is a foreigner, or properly a guest. So a foreigner, and that Hebrew word is gur. Gur. Yeah, it's a guest. It's somebody that's outside of the, the city. It's the foreigner. It's the stranger. So that would be us. It'd be like an alien or a sojourner being invited into this feast. And that there's a special invitation to those two in Deuteronomy 16. And those are the ones that have that stamp of God. I am the Lord your God. I love that. I love that. So we're invited into his timing and his timelines. It's pretty cool.
And the Antichrist is going to try to take himself to be the new I am.
Mm-hmm. Of course. Yes.
I-A-M-M-A-I. Oh, man. I am backwards is man's AI. Wow.
Oh, yeah. That's true. You reverse it.
Wow.
Is that a comment? Or you just thought about it?
Yeah, no, I was just thinking that through. Yeah. I am.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I am backwards is
M-A-I, man's AI. I mean,
man's AI. Well, that's interesting.
A sojourner. Yeah, I love that. Connect. Oh, yeah, that was awesome. Jamie, Jamie Staley, him and I were talking about that Revelation 18:23 yesterday, and how the voice of the bridegroom will be removed. At the end, the voice of the bride and the bridegroom, and the sound of the trump. Revelation 18:23. But there's a connecting verse to that talks just about that in Jeremiah 25 verse 10. It's really wild. That's what we're talking about. How the whole Bible just connects. I'm just blown away.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
More
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
more every day. I love it.
Jeremiah 25 verse 10, you said?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it says, moreover, I will take from them the voice of mirth and the voice of the gladness, the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride, the sound of the milestones and the light of the lamp. Mm-hmm. But it's repeated again in Revelation 18:23. The light of the lamp shall not shine in you anymore, and the voice of bridegroom and bride shall not be heard in you anymore, for your merchants were the great men of the earth. For by your sorcery, all the nations were deceived.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And then it gets into Revelation 19, which is talking about Christ on a white horse and the second coming and
I love
final
that.
judgment.
Revelation 19:14. We come back on white horses. Let's go home.
Yeah, man. Let's go. Get out of here, man.
Man. Yeah. I think we're going into, we'll have to see, but I still believe there's going to be some kind of a gap time frame.
Okay, what are your thoughts on that? Lots of people have their ideas on that. Do you think there's a gap between the rapture and the tribulation? What do you think? And how long, if that's the case?
I'm good with the 9-month scenario, like a baby getting ready to be born. The Antichrist, the whole. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there as conjecture. 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, personally, I'm looking for. I've always looked for like a fall signing of the 7-year dealio, so that midway point can be the Feast of Unleavened, unleavened bread, Passover, that whole thing, where the halfway point will be when the Antichrist will declare himself to be God, taking the place of God, in the form of God, sitting in the temple of God. That's basically the biggest middle finger to God and all the Jews in the world, is to have this guy sit on the mercy seat in the temple, declaring himself the abomination. Jeez.
Yeah. So here's my two options for midpoint scenario that I like the best. One option is kind of what you're saying during like Passover week, like the unleavened bread week. So that's one scenario. That's a great scenario. Makes a lot of sense. The other scenario, number two, that I like quite a bit is Hanukkah being a midpoint. Why? Because Antiochus Epiphanes IV desecrated the temple on Hanukkah.
With the
few hundred years before Jesus showed up, according to Daniel 8 and stuff. And Antiochus Epiphanes IV, Daniel 11 actually as well. It was actually a lot about what happened with Antiochus Epiphanes. It was prophecy.
That's a deep study too. Didn't he do the pig?
It's a big, very deep study. Yes, yeah. And if anybody wants to dive deep into that study and you want to understand history, I recommend at least just for this time. I know some people are like diehards on translations, and I'm not a translation war guy. I don't care what translation you read, but I recommend reading the Amplified version when you're reading Daniel 11 because it tells you who the kings are. It tells you who the characters are.
Oh,
Because the
cool.
names change throughout Daniel 11, and Amplified tells you who they are, and it's a big history lesson in Daniel 11. So I encourage you, if you want to learn about the history there, read the Amplified version of Daniel 11. But anyway, Antiochus Epiphanes desecrated the temple.
Yep.
Um, what year was it? Like 165 BC or something?
150, 160, somewhere in there. Yeah, like
Somewhere in
yeah.
there, yeah. And he did that on Hanukkah. And then
Wow.
the Maccabees, the Maccabean revolt, the Jews went to the
Revolting.
wilderness for a couple years, about 3 years, and then they came back. And so the abomination of desolation happened on Hanukkah. And
Wow.
so then when Jesus talks about this in Matthew 24, verse 15, what he's saying, and keep in mind when he's talking to these guys, this was a very short time ago in their history. It was only 200 years before Christ actually said this. So it's similar to us looking back to a historical event, maybe in the mid 1800s, not too far in our history. So it would have been fresh in their mind, similar to, the Holocaust. That was about
Yeah.
100 years ago, and it's in our history. It's all fresh in our minds. And he says in Matthew 24, verse 15, therefore, when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet standing in the holy place, so they know exactly what he's talking about. Oh, so there's an Antiochus Epiphanes character that's going to happen again in the end times. There's going to be some guy desecrating the temple. And wow, okay. Well, that happened on Hanukkah.
Wow.
So if I'm looking at a scenario number 2 for midpoint, like scenario number 1, midpoint pass, and if we're looking at a rapture soon, I guess I'd be looking at a 29. I don't even know the math. 2029 Passover.
With you, I know. Well, yeah, right.
Carry the 1, subtract the 5. So maybe a 2029 Passover midpoint, or a 2029 Hanukkah midpoint, whatever the math works out. Something like that. Or whatever at this point. So those have been my favorite 2 scenarios for a midpoint for the last couple of years now. Like either a Passover midpoint or a Hanukkah midpoint.
Well, it's kind of hitting me too, because if the 7 years doesn't begin until the fall of 2026, that means the midpoint will be March, April of 2030, and we have Agenda 2030. And the new Antichrist could take over the world in 2030. I don't know. Yeah. So
Yeah.
what if this whole Agenda 2030 is all them meddling, trying to get to what they want to do? But then we read, in Revelation that God is going to destroy those who destroy the earth. In Revelation 11, or, where is that? 11:18, I think it is. And all these elites, they think they're doing the best for the planet, but they keep destroying it.
I'm just doing the calculator thing here.
So we got Aaron with this calculator out.
Yeah. So if we add, that's too much. Yeah. So I got to back it up. So I guess if the tribulation was to start in September of 2026, I think we'd expect a midpoint in maybe 29. Oh yeah,
30,
Hanukkah
30,
or
yeah.
29. Anyway, yeah, I don't want to do this right now. I'm going to get my calculator. I need more time.
It hurts. Don't.
Yeah.
Well, and it kind of makes sense, because if the Apophis comes through April of 2029, then that would line up about perfectly about month 30 of Revelation 8, 6 through 8, that area for like Wormwood and stuff. So, and
when's this Apophis supposed to show up? 29?
Friday the 13th, April 13th, which is a Friday the 13th, 2029.
But it's like what? Like supposed to be really far from Earth or something? Like so we don't even know if it's gonna.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know, because I've read where, I don't know if that's true, but I've read where it'll actually come between the moon and the Earth when it does its flyby. So that's why they're really watching it. I don't know. But I have a feeling, too, things could start breaking off of that. Even if it doesn't hit Earth, And that could be like this big flaming mountain that we read about in Revelation 8 and the trumpet judgments, or the, you know.
Okay, so that's April 13th, 2029. And that's probably around Passover.
Well, yeah, I think yeah, I think Passover is pretty close. I can't remember in 2029, but well, no, but see, that's the thing, because I don't know. Yeah, now my head's hurting. Where were we?
Yeah. And yeah, three Atlas is
Far from Earth is homeward bound. Okay. K. Owen says, "Man, I hope we leave soon." Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, that 3-eye Atlas too. What's your latest on that? Anything? I think it's hard to keep up. That's just the thing, and it didn't even affect us. And
isn't
but
it supposed to be a thing in
ramping
December?
up the status of like other creatures out there, so they're going to continue to ramp up that narrative.
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that the only way to explain away the rapture would be an alien abduction. I think that's pretty easy to see how that would be the case. I mean, how else are they going to explain it away?
Yeah.
So, I think between now and Rapture Day, they'll always have some sort of a story of some comet flying around and an alien spaceship about to approach Earth. What did I see? Somebody left a comment saying something about the aliens are going to reveal themselves in the spring of 26 or something like that. Something odd. I don't know. I don't know. There's always going to be a story, I think. In the background with all this. I think.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So Leslie said on December 19th, 3-eye Atlas is closest to Earth. That's right. A friend of mine was saying that yesterday. So there you go.
Pintergrass. Yeah, I like that Stephen Burns. Nanny loves him. And Josh Stevens was talking about the video footage of that Ethiopia volcano. Did you see that the other night?
No, tell me about that. I mean, I saw a little bit.
This supposedly dormant volcano for 12,000 years. How would they know? But just out of nowhere, it exploded, and it was in Ethiopia, and the ash plume went up 9 miles into the sky, almost 15 kilometers into the sky, and it went all the way over and just blanketed Yemen and the Houthis with ash and dust. But they weren't expecting this volcano. It just blew up out of nowhere. It just came up out of nowhere and blew its top.
Wow.
Yeah, people were talking about Vesuvius. Yeah, and someone told me too, I forget who it was, but she believed that each time a volcano goes off, it's making more room in hell for unsaved. And I was like, that's wow. Okay. So I have a feeling that, the volcanoes are going to be going off throughout the tribulation, opening up more and more and more and more. Oh, man.
Yeah, and we have,
Jesus, yes, it's coming soon.
Gabe said major eruptions picking up. Jesus is coming soon, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. 12,000 years. How would they know? When's the last time that thing? Yeah, they weren't expecting that in Ethiopia, that's for sure.
So we got this Genesis mission. We got this Abraham Accords. I haven't really. Have you read the Abraham Accords? Do you know what it's really?
The mission they eventually want it to become the Abraham Alliance, and they know that once Saudi Arabia gets on board, because Saudi Arabia is the birthplace of Islam, so once they get on board, then all these other Islamic nations supposedly are going to want to jump on. But Saudi Arabia is very adamant they're not going to do it until they see Trump doing concrete things to establishing the state of Palestine. So they're not going to normalize with Israel. And Israel said point blank, Netanyahu, he's like, we will not divide Israel. We will not agree any way, shape, or form to this two-state solution.
Which again might really push Israel into be very independent in the long run.
Sooner or later, Israel's going to snap, and they're going to get tired of Trump bossing them around and telling them what to do. But Israel's still being very careful because they still want the weapons, and they need them. Yeah, these big wars still are just waiting. But I believe they're being held back by us being still here on Earth.
I found something cool. Somebody left it in my comments. I'll leave a better video, but this is Mohammed bin Salman's name. If you translate his name into Greek, and if you add up all the value of all the letters, I don't know if you can see it. Okay, but
well, yeah, we can.
I'll make it bigger here. I'll make myself bigger for a second. So if you add up all his letters translated into Greek, Mohammed bin Salman equals 666. So that's the number of his name. So I don't know. I don't know who the AC is. You know, I don't know who it's going to be, but I find that
I don't either. But if I had a dartboard, he's one of my top ones I'm looking at, and
yeah,
Richard Allison and others, they believe that Trump is. You know, I mean,
yeah,
it's but it's like all these elites and these global players. It's like they're interviewing for the position, one way or another.
Right.
You've even got Macron of France. He was like,
yes.
you know. But that is wild. I've heard that about MBS with the 666 and the Greek. That's pretty wild too.
Yeah, I'll put a better video up about that, like explaining it all. But that's a quick little look. But I don't know. I don't know who it's going to be.
Anybody I know.
I don't know. I think the Antichrist is somehow going to write off the Muslim religion, the Islamic religion, in some way, shape, or form, because their belief is the mirror image of ours. It's you know, the way that the Book of Revelation reads is the opposite of their book. Like, they want to have the whole world converted to Muslim, Islamic religion by the end, and they're going to behead people according to their religion. You know, they think they're going to go to war with Jesus.
Right.
Like that's their thing. That their book says they're going to go to war with Jesus, and they're going to win, I guess, in their mind. You know, it's like wild. It's the exact opposite of ours. So it's like, oh my. Okay, so I think whoever the AC is, he's going to write off the coattails of Islamic faith. You know, so and it says in Revelation 13, I'll read it properly. This mark. Verse 16, he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, and that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him who understands or has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is 666. So I don't know. But you know what? Everybody has all these ways of getting 666 to a lot of people's names. So I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt. I don't know. So many characters, like you said, applying for the job. It seems
that's what it feels like. Yeah, and even when you see him at these global conferences and stuff. But you know, one thing about Trump too is it seems like he's if he's Richard, I know he believes that Trump's the AC, and he might be, but I personally don't believe so. But I personally believe like Trump's like the perfect John the Baptist, who's leading the way. He's basically paving the way for the AC to literally come in and just take control. He's literally putting in all the puzzle pieces together. It's like a pilot. They've got the plane fueled up. All the passengers are on board. All the baggage is on board. We're just waiting for the captain to take control of the ship. Yeah, I don't know, but that point being said, like Trump, even Chuck Missler calls the Antichrist. He's known as Mr. Big Mouth. That's Trump all day long. I mean, that's Trump to a T, literally. I mean, I tell you what.
I think it's just good for us to be like aware,
check out
information, have our opinions. I don't know. It's
right. And I personally believe no one's going to know who the Antichrist is anyway, because he's sealed up in the 7th sealed scroll.
Right.
It's like the Emmys or whatever, the award, like you don't know until it's opened up. I mean, we can throw darts all day long, but one thing is certain: Jesus Christ is King of Kings, and He's coming back. That's for sure.
So what do you think about this mayor in New York?
Oh boy, Mom Donnie. Yeah. That's going to be a mess. And we just see how the Islamic stuff is setting up all those mosques throughout Texas. You've got them now taking over. I mean, the New York thing, Jews are going to have to flee.
Mm.
Talk about your city of lawlessness.
Oh, that's going to be rough. You're right. There's a lot of Jews that live in New York, isn't there?
Yeah. Literally half the world's Jews live, I mean,
Oh,
not in
that's
New York, but there's huge
yeah.
numbers.
That's a bad recipe.
That is a very bad recipe. And
That's a bad, and he seems pretty extreme.
he's very extreme. Yeah.
How did he get in there?
You know, I think a lot of it is these, but everything happens because God allows it to happen. But I believe it's all these demons that are like pushing and getting, and like it's the same thing with Obama. How did he go from like a representative of a state to all of a sudden president? Same thing with this Mamdani. He comes out of basically nowhere. He was even arrested a couple times, or he was protesting or something after 2020, the shutdowns and all this other stuff. And yeah, ever since October 7th, 2023, he's been very verbal against Israel and for Hamas. I mean, it's really wild. But then he's like, but I love my Jewish friends. Huh? Yeah, right. I don't need that kind of love. But yeah, more and more Jews are going to start fleeing back to Israel. They're going to have to. The only place for safety. And that's why I think the Antichrist is going to be so special, at least in those first 3.5 years, because he's going to be like, oh, you Jews, come on, I got you. I'll take care of you when no one else will. I'll protect you.
You know, guys, let us know if you have any questions for Bubba.
Oh, yeah.
Or myself or whatever, or any themes you
yeah.
might want us to talk about.
That's another one over there in London. You guys in Canada are getting more Islamic leaders too, I think. Yeah.
I think, yeah. Actually, one of my friends, I didn't look at the news, but he was saying that they're some Muslims are praying in streets and blocking traffic, praying every day, and I didn't really look into that, but apparently they're causing issues in the Toronto area.
Toronto, yeah.
I don't know, some Palestinian.
There's a lot of them in Toronto, that's for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, if you guys have any questions or direction you might want us to go here in this live stream, you let us know. Just leave it in the comments and we'll take a look at it.
Someone's in the UK. We have an Islamic mayor here in London too. Yeah. And that's part of their plan through this whole Muslim Brotherhood. And I find it ironic that Trump is now announcing that they are a foreign terrorist organization, the Muslim Brotherhood. And this has really ticked off the CAIR, CAIR, the Arab Islamic Relations people. Even like the Texas governor, Greg Abbott, designated them as terrorist groups. So they're all like, ah. But they all have ties back to the Grand Poopah over there in Islam world.
Well, I got a question for you, Bubba. I know this is the very generic question, but I don't know. How much longer do you think it's going to take to get all of this stuff happen? And when do you think the tribulation is going to start, if you had to guess?
If I had to guess, it'd be fall of 2026.
Mm-hmm.
When we depart before that, of course, I'd say, yeah. But you know what? I hate to say that. Like, well, I can almost see a spring or summer departure because we want it like yesterday. But at the same time, we've got to be realistic. Like, you know what? We've been looking for so long. Let's do this. I mean, Lord, we give it all to you and we know when you're coming, but at the same time, how much longer? But
oh yeah,
there's still people coming to the Lord. But on the flip side, you're feeling the hearts of men just getting harder and harder and harder. It's like there's literally no gray anymore. You're either for the Lord or you're not. You're either looking for the Lord Jesus Christ or you're not. You're either looking forward to heaven or you're happy staying here on earth. I mean, there's, and this is why they're known as the inhabitants of the earth or the earth dwellers, because those left below, that's even Revelation 3:10, I will keep you from to test those who dwell on the earth. I mean, yeah.
Here's another question. There's a few other questions that I skipped, but this one, have you considered mid-trib? And I will say no. I believe we go before the tribulation. And I think a big benchmark for me, I mean, there's so many teachings and things to reference, but I think one clear, easy thing for it to remember is when you see two witnesses walking on the streets blowing fire out of their face and no rain, specifically in Israel for
Right.
3.5 years, then if you see those two guys walking around, then you know, oh, wait a second, maybe we're in tribulation. But right now, there's not two guys over in Israel blowing fire out of their face and stopping the rain and, walking around in sackcloth telling people to repent and believe in Jesus. So that hasn't happened yet. We're not in tribulation. And also, it's my opinion. Some people have different opinions, but it's my opinion that the seals haven't opened yet.
That's right.
I believe we're there before the seals open. So the only way I'll consider mid-trib is if I see two guys walking around blowing fire out of their face. And I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we're going to be up there. What are your thoughts on that particular question, the mid-trib thing, brother?
Yeah, and and even as we study it, we can see how you can formulate a system to come up with a midterm. Sound like I'm doing college stuff, getting ready to take tests, midterms. I mean, you can see how people can see in their minds how it's like a mid-tribulation departure or a post-trib, or even taking stuff out of context, trying to make it pre-wrath, but if we just take the word of God and let it speak out to us, it flows like butter. We don't have to try to formulate a time frame. If we just let it speak out to us, he tells us exactly how it goes. I mean, come up here, Revelation 4, verse 1, and I will show you the things which must take place after this. After what? After you come up here. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is right at the beginning. And plus, I love how you see because the church is mentioned those 19 times in the first 3 chapters. And then we go right into the elders where that's the coolest thing too, is because the word elder is a church term that Paul used. Right. But we're there watching before the glassy sea, Revelation 4:4 and 4:10, and then 5:6, 5:7, 5:8, 5:9, that whole area, where Jesus comes and God the Father gives Jesus the Son the 7-sealed scroll. He opens it. But first of all, we have to be there as witnesses to watch the greatest transfer, the title deed transfer to the earth given back to Jesus from God the Father. And since we're co-heirs with Christ, we have to be witnesses.
Yeah, I think that's a strong thing you just said there. You said it really fast, but I think that's really
sorry.
That's good. Yeah, like if we are co-heirs with Christ and we're going to be ruling and reigning with him, which it says that in Revelation 2:27, it says, or 26, he who overcomes and keeps my works until the end, to him I will give power over the nations. He shall rule them with a rod of iron. They shall be dashed to pieces like the potter's vessel. And also in Revelation 3:21, to him who overcomes, I will grant to sit with me on my throne, as I also overcame and sat down with my Father on his throne. Whoa, we're going to be sitting on his throne with him. What? Hold my coffee. What? Okay. And then we want to be witnessing to the title deed, like you just said. That's a big deal. It's a really big thing to say. And I believe that in Revelation 5:6, it says, and I looked, and behold, in the midst of the throne and of the 4 living creatures, and in the midst of the elders stood a lamb as though it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of God sent out into all the earth. Okay, so he's got 7 spirits of God are with him. Okay, so who are the 7 spirits of God? Well, in Revelation 4, verse 5, it says, and from the throne proceeded lightnings, thunderings, and voices. 7 lamps of fire were burning before the throne, which are the 7 spirits of God. Okay, well, who's the 7 lamps of fire? Okay, Revelation 1:20 says, the mystery of the 7 stars, which you saw in my right hand, and the 7 golden lampstands. The 7 stars are the angels of the 7 churches, and the 7 lampstands, which you saw, are the 7 churches. Yep. Okay, so let me get this straight. The 7 spirits of God who are with the Lamb as he opens the scroll is the 7 lamps of fire, and the 7 lamps of fire would be the 7 lampstands. There's 7 churches. The churches are there with the Lamb as he's opening the scroll. All the seals
Exactly.
are open. And so it's of my perspective that we are there before he opens the seals. And the seals have not opened yet. And the two witnesses, let me read the two witnesses properly because I was just
Oh, that's so
paraphrasing.
wild.
Revelation 11, it says, and I will give power. This is verse 3.
3.
Revelation 11, verse 3. And I will give power to my two witnesses, and they will prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. These are the two olive trees and the two lampstands standing before the God of the earth. And if anyone wants to harm them, okay, this is what happens. Fire
Yep.
proceeds from their mouth and devours their enemies. Okay, have you guys seen two guys blowing fire to their face? No. And if anyone wants to harm them, he must be killed in this manner. These have power to shut the heaven so that no rain falls in the days of their prophecy. Okay, so no rain will be falling in
rain.
1260 days. That's another hint. And they have power over waters to turn them to blood. Has any water been turned to blood? To this capacity? No. And to strike the earth with all plagues as often as they desire. So there's a really dramatic scene in these two witnesses. And it's of my opinion that they're here in the first half of the tribulation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really a clear, easy indicator of did the tribulation start yet?
Mm-hmm.
That's just some of my points anyway.
And to strike the earth with every plague as often as they desire.
Sounds like a movie.
Yeah. I don't want to be here. No.
No, I don't. No, I don't want to be here. No.
No. I don't want to see that sci-fi. No. No rain will fall during the days of their prophesying. You know, and it kind of makes sense too, because when we get to the trumpets of Revelation 8, talks about how 1/3 of the trees will be burned and all the green grass will burn up. Well, if they've shut up the skies, and we read Revelation 7:1, where is it 8:1, where the angels, they stop the winds. 7:1, 8:1. It's right there.
And that would make sense too. If there's no rain, there's going to be tons of drought, tons of famine, and that makes more. It makes the third seal make more sense. It says in the third seal, when he opened the third seal, I heard the third living creature say, "Come and see." So I looked, and behold, a black horse, and he who sat on it had a pair of scales in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four living creatures saying, "A quart of wheat for a denarius, and 3 quarts of barley for a denarius, and do not harm the oil and the wine." So if there's no rain, there's no harvest. That means scarcity on the earth, which makes the third seal make a lot of sense. And keep in mind, Jesus said that this is going to be like the worst time in human history. If you go read Ezekiel, he's prophesying of a time when they're going to be purchasing, how do I say this politically correct, bird droppings. They were eating bird droppings, and they were eating their placentas because famine was so bad that was happening. And I think there's a part in Ezekiel where 2 mothers were talking about eating their children and stuff. Like, it was crazy.
Wow.
But Jesus said this time that's coming is going to be the worst time in, human history. How did Jesus say it in Matthew 24? So if you think that was bad back in Ezekiel, what's coming is going to be really bad. Where does it say here? For then there will be great tribulation, such as has not been since the beginning of the world until this time, nor ever shall be. This is going to be the worst time ever, Jesus said in Matthew 24, verse 21. I know that some parts of the world it's pretty bad right now. It is. Some people are really, really suffering. But globally, this is not the worst time in human history compared to what's happened before and what is currently happening in certain pockets. Jesus said this is going to be the worst time ever. So
a measure of wheat for a penny, and that whole thing, it's not going to be just in that country or too bad for them. This is going to be global. Yeah.
And a lot of death, a lot of blood, a lot of famine, a lot of issues. We're not in tribulation yet.
No,
we're not there. But we can see the shadow coming, can't we?
That blows my mind. Revelation 7:1, when the 4 angels hold back. After this, I saw 4 angels standing at the 4 corners of the earth, north, east, west, south, holding back the 4 winds of the earth, so that no wind would blow on the earth or on the sea or on any tree. They're just going to stop the weather patterns, the wind moving, the jet streams. Think about that. and all these volcanoes and stuff going off, there's going to be nothing to move this air. Oh, no thanks.
Yeah.
Ooh, no. Until we have sealed the bondservants of our God on their foreheads. I love that. I'm a bondservant forever.
Oh, yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. The power of the air stopped. Yeah, Kabat. Yeah, Vicky. Amen. Yeah, the jet streams are acting funny. Nanny loves them, and even that big stratospheric warming thing where it's moved the polar vortex and stuff. Yeah, have you seen that where some of the jet stream patterns are going backwards over Canada and stuff? Yeah, it's crazy. All kinds of weird stuff. Wow. Yeah, the Prince of the Power of the Air is in effect. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. So this is Maria writes, did you guys know that what farmers use to break open the husks of wheat to get the seed was called the tribulum? Yeah, that's a great point.
Oh, no way.
But yeah, so let me read you something kind of cool here related to that theme that Maria is talking about. So yeah, she said it. When there used to be something called a tribulum, it was a large piece of board, and underneath this board was a bunch of sharp stones, and it would be pulled by a couple of ox or donkeys or horses, and that would rub against the chaff of the wheat, and it would separate the chaff from the wheat, and that's how they would harvest the grain, specifically the wheat, and it's called a tribulum. Isn't that neat? Okay. So here's just a cool verse that I bumped into the other day, which kind of relates to that. Proverbs 20, verse 26. So that's 2026. It says, a wise king sifts out the wicked and brings the threshing wheel over them. It's Proverbs 2026. Kind of neat. We're approaching 2026, and it's talking about a king who sifts out the wicked and brings the threshing wheel, which is kind of like a tribulum, over them. It's got this harvest theme in Proverbs 2026. I thought that was kind of neat. I noticed that the other day because we were reading Proverbs in our Bible study. And by the way, if anybody wants to study with us, we've been reading the Bible for about 2 years in my Discord, Monday through Friday. And that link is under these videos. So
Yafa's putting it up in the chat too. That's cool.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. So if anybody wants to join us, we've been doing that for about 2 years now. And so we're going to be actually reading the major prophets very soon. We're going to be in Ecclesiastes this week, and then Song of Solomon, and then we're into the major prophets: Ezekiel, Jeremiah, Isaiah, and Daniel. So that's the next area we're in.
I've got to find this too. I don't know if you've heard of this, but M. Schweikert mentioned this. How about the Schumann resonance looking like the menorah?
What's that about?
The Schumann resonance is like the heartbeat of the earth, I guess. And I've heard this from somebody else today too, where something's going on where it's shaped like a menorah. Something with the latest readings or something. I need to find that out.
Wow.
Well, that'd be interesting to see what they're talking about. Chains of Darkness, Second Peter, Schumann resonance. Let's go home. Let's do this. Let's get out of here.
Let's blow this popsicle stand.
Menorah. Oh, it sure does. Holy cow.
I got my menorah right here.
Check that out.
Oh, what's that?
That's the Schumann resonance with the menorah. And look at the cross right below it.
That's wild. I don't understand what you're showing us, though. That definitely looks like a menorah, but why is that there? What's that?
It's the Schumann resonance. Whoa. Easy there, Tiger. Sorry about that. It's the heartbeat of the earth as it goes across. But somehow it came out with that kind of weird, funky menorah symbol. Yeah. Yeah. You got the Schumann resonance right there. Yeah. That is wild. I've heard about this, but I've never seen it.
Okay, so again, try and explain to me what this Sherman resonance is. I really have no clue what you're talking about.
The
Resonance?
Schumann resonance is it's the literal heartbeat of the earth. Schumann resonance refers to the natural electromagnetic frequencies generated on Earth and by the Earth's atmosphere, like lightning strikes and stuff. But it has a lot to do with, like they say that the Earth has a heartbeat, or the Earth has, because everything in the universe is electrical. Everything is a number. Everything's a Fibonacci. Everything's by design. Everything's a frequency. And I think that's what the Schumann resonance is right there with your menorah. So that's kind of fun.
So it's some sort of a heartbeat of the earth that looks like a menorah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never seen it before, so that's why it kind of blew my mind. Like, what?
That is pretty wild.
Because it goes across like that.
All
I'm
right.
glad someone mentioned that again so I could look it up. It's hard to keep up. There's so much that goes across the news wires. It's hard to know. Kushner leading the path for immortality through AI use. Yeah, that's the other thing. They want to become a god and live forever. It's like the Garden of Eden 2.0.
Is he still heavily involved with the Abraham Accords?
Yeah. He's always still, somehow he's still in that mix. He's another one to watch. He's like that snake in the grass that comes up but there's so many weird ones out there with the Chat GPT guys and all these, man.
And I also thought that that picture of Prince, King Charles. Remember that Baphomet picture like a year ago or something?
Oh yeah.
You put it together, it looks like a Baphomet, like 4 of the pictures. Like, oh my goodness! Like, what?
I don't think they're hiding it anymore. They're just because they've got nothing to hide anymore. They don't need to keep this from society because it's all about disclosure and the Grand Awakening and the Great Awakening. The voice of the Lord. Kushner to possible false prophet along with Elon Musk. He could be. Yeah. Who knows? Charles' new video praising Islam and quoting the Quran. Huh. Yeah, the King Charles with the whole thing. Oh, and the Pope's going on he's going on a tour now. He's going to Turkey, and then he's going to Lebanon.
And what's he saying?
Oh, yeah, we've got Pope Bob from the United States. Pope Leo the 14th, Pope Bob. Yeah, they're not hiding anything anymore. Yeah, he's going to Turkey and he's going to Lebanon to try to talk about peace coming and stuff. And there was rumor that Trump was going to go to DC or going to go to Israel in December, and the Pope was going to meet him. But I'm not seeing anything about Trump visiting Israel now anymore. So I don't know what's going on.
Then Hezbollah, like that. That's another thing too. In Lebanon,
that's another one. That's just waiting to tick off because they took out their chief of staff. They're number 2 in line in Hezbollah the other day.
Sunday, and were they chanting death to America and death to Israel? And...
Yeah, death to America, death to Israel. They were chanting that yesterday.
Okay.
At his funeral. Taking a playbook from Iran and Yemen.
It's pretty wild stuff.
What's new on Israel? Anything now? It's been too quiet, too. That's another thing. Israeli jets entered Iraqi airspace, broke the sound barrier near the Iranian border, and have returned to their bases. So Israel may be practicing on another thing coming up for Iran, for all we know. Hey.
Yeah, Kelly says, so Elon and Trump are friends again now. Do you know much about that? Like, Elon showed up to the MBS dinner? Is that what happened?
Yeah, what was up with that? Yeah, you had all these bigwigs there. Elon Musk showed up. Tiger Woods showed up. Because I think they all wanted to get together and meet Mohammed bin Salman and at that state dinner and stuff the other night last week. Yeah, and it's like Trump and Elon, they've got like a love-hate relationship. But he's all part of the puzzle too. Best defense for Israel is their offense. Yep.
Nathan says Iran says they're ready to duke it out any day now.
Yeah. Yeah. Iran says they're duke it out. Yeah. Israel eliminated 5 more Hamas terrorist guys today because they popped up from the tunnels like rats because they're trapped behind the yellow line where Israel has control of. And they're trapped in these tunnels. So they popped up and came out, and Israel took them out. So there's still more that's hiding in the tunnels. And they only come out of these tunnels when they need food and water.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, brother, we should probably conclude here and let you go because I know you have to get going somewhere here. So, what are your final thoughts? And thanks for coming, man. It was so
no, my apologies. I should have brought a whole thing so we could just keep going. But yeah, my daughter, she's got to get her permit or license or something. We got to. she started a new job and her license or whatever just expired.
Yeah. So you got to go do your thing. So what are your closing thoughts for what we talked about?
Yeah, I'm with you, Josh Stevens. Israel continues to play whack-a-mole. I think this is a weird thing because we're coming into the holiday season where people are going to be saying peace on earth and goodwill towards men. I honestly believe like a lot of these major Middle East wars haven't kicked off yet because we're still here. I think once that restraint is taken out of the way, Satan or the Holy Spirit's going to step aside and allow evil just to. And honestly, I believe like a lot of the Islamic nations, it's going to turn back to an Old Testament style type thing once we depart in the rapture, because they're going to be like the Old Testament where they're going to despise the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So I believe that's coming. And I believe the rapture is the catalyst to a bunch of these wars coming up, like the Isaiah prophecy coming up, and these others. I mean, even the Gog Magog, all these things, I believe like the Holy Spirit's holding them back. And we're just seeing the snippets coming through.
So what you're saying is you anticipate a little bit more stage setting until the rapture happens. And
yes,
the rapture really is the plug that gets the water going.
I think so, but it's like as we get closer to the end, we might start seeing some of these wars starting to form, or at least starting to kick off. But then again, we might not. And I love how there's a rapture idiom in the second camera angle there in Jeremiah 49:24, where it talks about the destruction coming towards Damascus and how it's like a woman in labor. So to me, that's a harpazo idiom. So, but you've heard that too. Like the church was born on the road to Damascus, and the church will depart on the road to Damascus. So, I don't know. That's a big one. A lot of people are focused on that. A lot of people are looking at Gog Magog war. People have interest in this, and it's one way I believe we can use Bible prophecy to help point them to the Lord Jesus Christ. Because a lot of people have questions. A lot of people have heard of these words. Yeah, I've heard of that Magog thing. What is that? I mean. So we can use these times to be able to talk to him about it.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. More stage setting, more things evolving, and then, I mean, the rapture's got to be a big kickoff event. It's got to really push everything into motion. Yeah, and I just thought of that, just like a bathtub filling up with water. And the rapture of the church is really the plug in the drain. And, it's the bubbles are in there. The hot water's there. It's just about to get to the point where it's there. And then pull the plug, and then the drain happens. I think we are the plug in the bathtub. I think
I didn't think about that.
Yeah. So,
I like that.
How do we tie that into a phrase? The plug.
You need to find a plug. Yeah. Is there a plug idiom in the Bible?
Yeah. Yeah. Or we can just make up our own verse. Jeremiah 62 verse 7. When I pull the plug in the bathtub. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of it still feels like it's just bubbling underneath the surface, and it could explode at any time. But right now, it's like the Holy Spirit's just keeping that clamp on that thing from launching.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe when we depart, we'll take that lid off with us, so then it'll just.
Yeah.
We can't even imagine what that day is going to be like. Oh my word!
A verse of hope. What is that? Is that 1 Corinthians or 2 Corinthians? For no eye has seen and no ear has heard.
Yeah.
1 Corinthians 2 verse 9.
14.
Eye has not seen nor ear heard, nor have entered into the heart of man the things which God has prepared for those who love him. You know, you think there's going to be popcorn in heaven?
I hope so.
Yeah, I do. I hope so. Coffee and popcorn.
And we can practice throwing it at each other. See if we can catch it in our mouth.
Looking forward to that day.
I mean, it'll be healthy popcorn too, so that'll be good. No carbs, no.
Yep. No calories in heaven.
I was going to ask you, have you ever done a fast? I'm thinking about doing one. I've never done it.
Oh yeah, I've done some fasts before. I actually do it a lot. I'll skip a day here and there. I actually was going to do it tomorrow. What day is it? Tuesday. I was going to do one tomorrow. I was going to do a 24-hour fast. I just do it sometimes just for fun, just because it's good and healthy for you. It's our body's best way of regenerating and getting rid of the bad stuff, and it's good for health. So many good things about it. So some people do it for spiritual reasons. They want to get closer with God, and think it's a great way to do it, to fast and pray. Of course, if you're going to fast and pray, I encourage you to kind of do it quietly and not tell the whole world. That's what it kind of says in the Bible there. But
right.
From a health perspective, I mean, to tell people you're fasting is a good thing. And I think it's fun to do it collectively with a group of people. So yeah.
What's the longest you've ever done?
The longest, maybe 5 days or something. Maybe 5 days. I don't know. Recently, there's been a couple times where I did it 2 or 3 days. I think I did maybe about a month ago. I think I did 2 or 3 days, something like that.
And what's the hardest, day 1 or day 2?
You know what? It's not too hard for me anymore. Like I actually do intermittent fasting quite a bit, where I don't usually eat breakfast, and quite often I won't eat lunch. So very often there'll be times when I just have dinner and that's it.
No, that's intermittent. Yeah.
So, but
no, I've been looking into it, taking your body into the ketosis and the autophagy, where it actually your body starts rebuilding and cleaning out the dirt and all the junk, and it's like a spring cleaning. I'm like, wow, I never knew this, but it kind of makes sense because the Bible talks about this.
It's of my opinion that fasting is better than any kind of medication you can purchase.
Yeah.
I think it's the best thing for you, to do it once in a while. So,
did you ever do like any of the bone broth or anything to help keep or anything like that, or you just did coffee, tea, water?
Yeah, coffee, tea, water.
Electrolytes.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think too hard. Like, okay, I'm not going to eat for a while. Okay, I know.
Aaron's like, I'm not going to look into how to do it. I just do it. Whatever.
Just stop eating. That's about it. Like I still have coffee. I like my coffee, but in terms of food, no problem for me skipping a day. It's not even that big a deal anymore to do that.
Autophagy, yeah. Have you guys ever done it in chat? Have you guys done that? Done a fast? Yeah. Someone said just wear earplugs so when your tummy rumbles, it doesn't wake you up. And I heard that when you actually start feeling or hearing your stomach ground, that's when you start going into the body starting to get into that mode of cleaning and getting. No, that's why I'm asking, because I've never done it before, so I thought I'd try it.
Yeah, of course. If anybody's listening, of course, don't take our advice.
Oh no, I'm just trying to learn. Shoot.
Yeah, go talk to a doctor. I got to say that on my video here.
Oh yeah.
Don't do anything. Don't take our. We're not doctors here, so don't do anything.
Oh no, I'm just trying to learn.
Yeah, we're just talking about. Anyway, instead of my opinion, that fasting is a great thing. So, but if you have some sort of an ailment, be sure what you're doing. If you got diabetes or something like that, then consult with a professional. Disclaimers. That's right.
Disclaimers, yeah. Yeah, see, Maria says she fasts, but she can't do it long because she has something else. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. If you got something going on, don't get out of hand. So, okay, thanks for hanging out, bro.
No, thank you.
What a great time hanging out, and I'll end.
Let me jump off so you can do your thing at the end, or
yeah, just hold tight. So I can say goodbye, but I will end the stream here, and thanks everybody for hanging out with us.
Thank you guys,
and we'll talk soon. We'll have Bubba on again, I'm sure, at some point. It's great catching up, and have a blessed day, guys. We're one day closer to the rapture of the church. Get tight with Jesus. Get tight with Christ if you haven't done that yet. Time's running out. You don't know when your last day is. And either the end of your life or the rapture. You don't know. So most important thing is to believe in what Jesus did on the cross 2,000 years ago. Time is short. Tribulation's around the corner. Okay. Adios, guys. Talk soon. Bye-bye.